All right, good evening. We'll call the board meeting to order at this time. And as most everyone knows, we've lost one of our members, Thomas Fuentes, who lost his battle against cancer on Saturday evening. There will be a vigil service held Tuesday, May 22nd, 7 p.m., and then the Mass will be celebrated May 23rd at 10 a.m. Both will be held at Santiago de Compostela Catholic Church on Lake Forest Drive in Lake Forest. All right, and at the last meeting, the board reported approval in closed session of a 3-month leave of absence for a classified employee. That report was incorrect. The approval was for a 1-month leave of absence. The minutes of tonight's meeting will reflect a correction of that report. All right. And with that, we will ask our clerk to read the actions taken in tonight's closed session.
Yes, there too.
Push your mic. You have to push your mic button.
Okay. Can you hear?
No, your mic isn't. Apparently, I've got everyone's mic.
Pushing the request to
There
speak.
you go. There you
Okay,
go.
thank you. I appreciate that.
Okay.
Okay. On a 6-0 vote, the board approved an unpaid leave with benefits from May 28th, 2012 through June 17th, 2012 to a part-time classified employee. On a 6-0 vote, the board approved an unpaid leave with benefits from May 28, 2012 through June 17, 2012 to a part-time classified employee. On a 6-0 vote, the board approved an unpaid leave with benefits from May 28, 2012 through June 17, 2012 to a part-time classified employee. And on a 6-0 vote, the board voted to reject the claim filed by a student against the district. Those are all the actions taken in closed session that we were reporting out.
Okay, thank you. And we will now have the invocation led by Trustee Bill J. Please rise.
Tom Fuentes deserves a little time. I'm going to ask you to sit down as I go through this. I'll just take a couple minutes more than I would normally take. This is an invocation, so I'm invoking Tom Fuentes'
Could you push
name.
your mic, please, so we can hear you?
I'm sorry. Tom Fuentes was a straight shooter. Anything that he did or said or wrote, you can be sure that he was telling it as it was. He wasn't the average politician. The average politician, as you know, tries to be forceful, but all too often is benign if he feels that he's offending a constituency. Tom never hesitated to speak up loudly for what he thought was right. And he was a terrific board member. He was a board member on this board for 12 years. Long-time member. There's not many board members that actually hang around that long. Before that, he was Mr. Politician in Orange County. As you all know, he happened to be a Republican. He was Mr. Republican. If you wanted to run for anything, and I mean a congressional seat, an assembly seat, a school board member, a community college trustee, a mayor of one of the local cities, believe me, Tom Fuentes was right in there working on those things. Lots and lots of local offices. The candidates and those who became the eventual members of whatever they were seeking saw Tom Fuentes and got his help. They owed their seat to Tom. He'd been a politician very early as a Republican. Of course, he worked for everybody from Nixon to the Bushes to Reagan, who he admired tremendously, to Dole, to Ford, to Nixon, you name it. Tom was behind them, and he actually also managed to get all of the supervisory seats, even though most of these seats are supposed to be non-partisan. Believe me, Tom was behind getting all 5 supervisors in his party. While on the board, he was the board clerk, and he always announced what the board had achieved in that particular session. He did that for at least 5 years, and he was also had a role for the board as sort of the spokesman for the board. He emceed many things that were activities that were held at either of the college campuses or at AT&amp. He did a fine job. He was a seminarian for a while during his life, before he graduated from Chapman College, or just after he graduated from Chapman College, and he anything that was a little reverential or sacred, all of us board members were glad to have Tom speak for us. And he always did act sort of as a spokesman for the board, no matter who the chancellor was or who the presidents of the colleges were. He was a very righteous guy. I learned through loud experience with Tom that he was always right. There was never any question about that. If things didn't go quite right, though, Tom was terribly loyal. He always had your back. He was very loyal to the board members, but he was also tremendously loyal to the 43,000 students that we have in this district, to the 3,500 plus employees that we have in this district, to the community. He always spoke up for the taxpayer and was a very frugal board member. Loyalty was his big time and number one his big time and his number one aim. You can't ask for much more than that. He was for the colleges, as well as all of the groups that I mentioned. He was for the district, and he was for all concerned. And finally, more than that, he was a friend. And it always came out that way when you really got to know him, that he was a friend, not just to everybody in the student body, but to all the other groups that I mentioned. And so it's with shock and sorrow that we say goodbye to Tom, and that he's gone. But he's been a wonderful influence on this board and on this community. If we could now have a moment of silence in honor of Tom Fuentes. Thank you.
All right, please rise and join Trustee Lang in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Please join me as we salute the flag of this great nation. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
It is now my great pleasure to swear in our brand new student trustee, Heather Park. Heather, would you please stand and raise your right hand and repeat after me? I, Heather Park.
I, Heather Park.
Is your mic on, Heather? That's the one thing you have to learn when you're a trustee. The mics are a little tricky. All right, start over.
I, Heather Park.
Do solemnly swear or affirm.
Do solemnly swear or affirm.
That I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States.
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully
and that I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter.
discharge the duties of which I am about to enter.
Great. Congratulations. Yes, do you have family here that you would like to introduce for us?
I don't.
Okay, very good. All right, we are now at the resolutions, and we have several of them this tonight. We'll start with the Saddleback College Employee of the Year. And President Burnett, would you come to the podium and invite Valerie Senior? And Trustee Milchecker, our clerk, will read the resolution, and then we will have to vote on it. Yeah, that's fine. Thank you. If you could take them down. Go ahead.
Thank you. This is for Valerie.
Your mic, please.
Is it on now?
Yes. Should be on.
Valerie Senior, Saddleback College Classified Employee Outstanding Service Award, Outstanding Service Award. Whereas Valerie Senior, an Application Specialist 2 in Saddleback College Center for Instructional Design and Distance Education and an employee of Saddleback College for more than 12 years, is commended for her excellent work for the college students, faculty, staff, and management. And whereas Valerie Senior imagined and implemented the 2011 iPad project, which encouraged faculty use of mobile devices, and she collaborated with faculty to create an online educator certificate curriculum and program, which has been instrumental in improving the quality of online education and promoting student-centered learning environments. Whereas Valerie Senior is described by her colleagues as smart, witty, reliable, thorough, and patient, who conducts training sessions with professionalism and shows tremendous dedication to the success of the college faculty. And be it resolved that the Board of Trustees and the Chancellor of the South Orange County Community College District do hereby commend Valerie Senior for outstanding service and unique dedication to Saddleback College, and bestows upon her the Saddleback College Classified Employee Outstanding Service Award for 2011-2012.
All right, and now we will have a roll call vote from the board to see if we're going to approve you.
Trustee Jay.
Aye.
Trustee Lang.
Aye.
Trustee Meldau.
Aye.
Trustee Milchiker.
Aye.
Trustee Padberg.
Aye.
Trustee Prendergast.
Even though I did not get one of those iPads, I will still say
Student Trustee Park.
Congratulations. Would you like to say a couple words, Ms. Sidora?
I just want to say thank you very much to all of the people that I work with. I love my job, and I really enjoy working with all of the faculty and staff, and particularly the people that I work with in the city. They're wonderful, and I really enjoy what I do.
Great.
Thank you.
Well, congratulations. Thank you. Okay, and our next resolution goes to Irvine Valley College Employee of the Year, Barry Miller, and President Rockmore will present that. Barry, come forward, please.
Okay,
And Trustee Milchecker will read it, and then we will have our vote. So, welcome, Barry.
Okay. This is the Classified Employee Outstanding Service Award. Whereas Barry Miller, Senior Multimedia Technician in Media Services at Irvine Valley College, has been awarded the Irvine Valley College Classified Employee Outstanding Service Award for 2011-2012. And whereas Barry Miller believes the audiovisual world is an exciting technological transition, becoming fun again, and he prides himself on introducing new products into the classroom when appropriate. And whereas the IVC campus community notes that Barry's work may begin in media services, but he performs his works beyond the walls of his classroom, and he's known for being friendly, consistent, responsive, detail-oriented, and reliable in every situation. Therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Trustees and the Chancellor of the South Orange County Community College District do hereby commend and congratulate Barry Miller for his outstanding service to and representation of Irvine Valley College.
And now we'll have our roll call vote.
Trustee Jay?
Aye.
Trustee Lang?
Aye.
Trustee Meldau?
Aye.
Trustee Milchiker?
Aye.
Trustee Padberg?
Aye.
Trustee Prendergast?
Aye.
Student Trustee Park?
Congratulations. Okay, and would you like to say a couple words?
Sure.
Okay.
Just want to say thank you for the recognition. It's much appreciated, and thank you to the folks that submitted the suggestion as well.
Do you have
Appreciate
any
it.
family here to introduce? Or no?
Nope, just me.
Okay. President Rockport, did you want to say something?
Yes, I need to. Barry, don't go away. This is so well wrapped, I'm not going to attempt to unwrap it. I would probably hit a keyboard here and change everything for the meeting tonight. But this is the perpetual plaque, the traditional plaque, which I'm going to hang on to, and I'll put that in the A100 building. I also have the traditional crystal here for you, and that I can unwrap. Barry, there you go. Outstanding Classified Employee of the Year. And I also have here a parking certificate, so you can now park somewhere out near the soccer fields. No, I'm just kidding. It's much better than that. And I also have a $100 American Express gift card for you.
I saw that, yeah.
Congratulations. Thank you very much.
You're up, district employee. All right, and our district employee of the year, and that will be presented by, David Bouquet, Vice Chancellor. And that person is Patty Helton. Please come forward, Patty.
This is the District Services Classified Employee Outstanding Service Award. Whereas Patty Helton, a human resource specialist and employee since 2002, is commended for her dedication in facilitating new employee hiring and assisting current employees of Saddleback College, Irvine Valley College, and District Services. And whereas Patty Helton is dedicated to process improvement through active participation in departmental and district-wide initiatives, including development recruiting strategies and participating on the district's continuing quality improvement task force. Whereas Patty Helton has earned the respect of coworkers, management, and faculty who describe her as hardworking, ethical, courteous, sensitive, tactful, an excellent team player with a good sense of humor who often assumes additional duties to cover the needs of the department. Therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Trustees and the Chancellor of the South Orange County Community College District do hereby commend and congratulate Patty Helton for her outstanding service and unique dedication to the entire district, and bestows upon her the District Services Classified Employee Outstanding Service Award for 2011-2012.
And now we'll have our roll call vote.
Trustee Jay?
Aye.
Trustee Lang?
Aye.
Trustee Meldau?
Aye.
Trustee Milchiker?
Aye.
Trustee Padberg?
Aye.
Trustee Prendergast?
Aye.
Student Trustee Park?
Okay, congratulations. All right, and Patty, did you want to say a few words and have some family to introduce or no?
My family is home cooking me dinner tonight, so
Whoa, excellent.
I'm looking forward to that, and I just want to, this is a great honor, and I just am very appreciative, and I'm so very fortunate to work with such wonderful coworkers and work with so many wonderful people in the district and the colleges as well. I consider myself a very lucky person to work with such a wonderful group of people. Thank you.
Thank you.
And for Patty, we have a perpetual plaque we have just started this year. And Patty is one of those people who is one of the finest examples of the solid work we have from classified staff that support the district. So on behalf of Patty, thank you very much.
Wonderful. Thank you. And our next resolution goes to the Irvine Valley College Model United Nations team, the 2012 National Champions. And again, President Rockmore, come forward, please. And I guess we're going to we have all of the team members here. Have them come forward, please. Go ahead, Marcia.
Yeah, I'll start reading it now. Whereas the 2011-2012 Irvine Valley College Model United Nations team recently competed in the 2012 National Model United Nations New York Conference, the largest and most prestigious MUN conference with over 5,000 students representing 300 schools from across the globe. And whereas the team represented the Republic of Iceland and received the conference's highest award, Outstanding Delegation, which is given to the top 1% of delegation, and also won the 3 awards for outstanding position papers for the United Nations Children Fund, Arms Trade Treaty, and the International Criminal Court, more than any other team. And whereas Riley Potter and Christine Miller served as the chair for the Organization of the Islamic Conference and rapporteur for the Conference on Sustainable Development, respectively, and IVC competitors include Cale Kramer, the advisor, Wesley Lopez Vito, Jessica Anderson, Max Hyman, Faisa Barlas, Stephanie Wynn, Christine Miller, Hassan Rasmi, Caitlin O'Neill, Farheen Jamil, Eric Hansen, Naziha Kibria. Therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Trustees and the Chancellor of the South Orange County Community College District do hereby commend and congratulate to 2011-2012 Irvine Valley College Model United Nations team with their advisors for their outstanding championship season and excellent representation of Irvine Valley College.
And now we'll have our roll call vote.
Trustee Jay.
Aye.
Trustee Lang.
Aye.
Trustee Meldau.
Aye.
Trustee Milchiker.
Aye.
Trustee Patberg.
Aye.
Trustee Prendergast.
Aye.
Student Trustee Park.
Congratulations. And after our photo op, President Rockmore, would you introduce the members who are attending tonight? Okay.
Actually, my notes on that are over here, so I'm going to go ahead and have Professor Stu Frame do that introduction.
Great.
I'm Stu Frame. I've been the Model UN advisor for the last 14 years for IVC Model UN. But we have to give credit, Cale Kramer, he's a new advisor this year. He's a doctoral candidate in international relations at UCR, and he would be here tonight, but he's currently teaching international relations at UCR. He was actually the advisor that took the team to New York in first year, and we won the outstanding award.
Wow.
And before I have them introduce themselves, I'd just like to thank Tracy Fahimi, who's the founder of IVC, Professor Fahimi, who's the founder of IVC Model UN. I'd like to thank Dr. Glenn Rockmore, in all the 14 years, he's always supported us. He's given us his total support. And that's really cool because Dr. Rockmore, we're political scientists, and Dr. Rockmore is a physicist, physical scientist, and he still supports us. So he supports all things academic.
Right.
And So I'd like to have everybody just introduce themselves, and then I'd like to have Jessica very briefly tell you about the level of competition we had at National Model UN.
My name is Gabriel Masri, and I worked with Caton O'Neill on the Arms Trade Treaty position paper that went outstanding. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Naziha Cabria, and I was the only representative. I was one of 6 people chosen to represent as counsel in the International Criminal Court.
Thank you.
My name is Caitlin O'Neill. I worked with Gabriel on the Arms Trade Treaty paper, and I represented Iceland in the Committee for Arms Trade Treaty.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Farheen Jamil, and I was on the United Nations Children's Fund Committee, and I won the position paper award with Eric.
My name is Eric Hansen. I won the most awards this year. Thank you.
All right. Way to go.
My name is Max Hyman. I work with Jessica Anderson on GA Second, the Economic Council, and I stumped the Icelandic, what's it called? What's her name? Ambassador. She didn't answer the question.
Thank you.
My name is Jessica Anderson, and we're actually on a first-name basis now with the ambassador from Iceland because none of us can pronounce her last name, although we tried. We had a conversation about it. On Friday afternoon, I graduated from IVC. I have been a part-time and a full-time student there since spring of 2005, so it's been a long haul. And I applied to 4 UCs this fall, and my plan was, as UC Berkeley was my top choice, if I did not get in, I was going to write them a letter of appeal and just let them know that when we were in New York, we actually, Irvine Valley College won the top award, whereas UC Berkeley brought home honorable mention, so I thought maybe I could use that as leverage. But it was unnecessary as I was accepted, so I will be attending UC Berkeley in the fall. So, thank you.
All right, thank you very much. And our final resolution is for the Irvine Valley College Speech and Debate Team 2012 National Champions. And President Rockmore, we have Gary Reibold, I see, and some of the team present to come forward for the resolution.
Okay, this is for the Irvine Valley College Speech and Debate Team, the 2012 National Champions. We have more national champions here. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
Whereas the 2011-2012 Irvine Valley College Speech and Debate Team recently won the Community College National Championships, and the Debate Squad recently won the National Parliamentary Debate Association Sweepstakes, awarded as the top community college at the National Championships. And whereas the team set a record for the most amount of points by a community college in the National Parliamentary Debate Association year-long sweepstake, therefore receiving a second national championship trophy and placing Irvine Valley College as third in the nation among all 2- and 4-year schools. And whereas the team set new records with over 72 students winning awards throughout the season, and 14 students named to the Pacific Southwest Collegiate Forensic Association All-Conference Academic Team, under the leadership of the IVC Forensic Coaching Staff, Eric Garcia, April Griffin, Rachel Hastings, John Llewellyn, Lisa Rios, Gary Reibold, Jules Throckmorton French, and Edward Tiangsong. Therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Trustees and the Chancellor of the South Orange County Community College District do hereby commend and congratulate the 2011-2012 Irvine Valley College Speech and Debate Team and their coaches for their outstanding championship season and excellent representation of Irvine Valley College.
And now we'll have the roll call vote, please.
Trustee Jay.
Aye.
Trustee Lang.
Aye.
Trustee Meldau.
Aye.
Trustee Milchiker.
Aye.
Trustee Padberg.
Aye.
Trustee Prendergast.
Aye.
Student Trustee Park.
All right, and we'll try to get a photo. It's a big group, and then we're going to have our Professor Reibold introduce everyone, please. Short people in the front row.
Thanks for bringing us up there.
Well, thank you very much. It's a privilege to work with our students. In fact, we have two of our coaches that are also wearing the coach polos today, April and Jules. And I wanted to say a special recognition for April. She just got hired away by Cerritos College for a tenure track position to be their director of forensics. So our staff is going to change a little bit, but it's certainly wonderful for her. Next to April is Noah, who's also one of our student volunteers. So going down the list here, we have Crystal and Jake and Udara and Chris and Jen and Chatty and Kathleen and Bree and Josh and Peter and Stephen. And that's Dr. Rockmore over there. Okay, so this team was just a joy to work with. On our website, you can look. We have the name of 72 students who actually won awards, not just competed for us. A typical year, we may end up with 30 students. But this year, because of the fact that we have 11 coaches, that we are doing recruiting in our speech department, our new facilities over in the Bistic building has just been a wonderful combination for us. We changed our systems around, and we were on the attack for the whole year. So it really paid off with the kind of victories that we had. I also need to thank all the people who made it possible. Without funding from ASIVC, we could never go to these tournaments. Our administration has been very generous. Our facilities are fantastic. It's just a great place to work. I love Irvine Valley College, and I know most of our students are going to be here. I think it was Bo Schembacher who once said, we don't rebuild, we reload. We have 16 debaters coming back from this year's squad who will be on next year's squad. So we're expecting another fantastic year. So thank you very much.
Great. Thank you. Okay, and we are now at public comments, and we have several people wishing to speak. President Burnett, you have put in 2 requests to speak. So if you will take those in order, please.
Thank you, Madam President. I'm very honored and thrilled to recognize 3 of our outstanding students this year that had some excellent contributions and successes. If actually Remy Conister and Elizabeth Tepe. Also, I'd like to, if they could come up, please, right now. Also, coaches Mark Blethen and Sean McGinley. Why don't you come up as well? Let me tell you a little bit about these folks while we're waiting for them to come up. I am thrilled to recognize both Remy Conister and Elizabeth Tepe, who not only are champion hammer throwers for Saddleback College, but have impressed us all with their outstanding academic achievement. Recently, at the annual Ben Brown Invitational at Cal State Fullerton, Liz tied an American Community College record in the hammer throw. Her toss of 186 feet, 7 inches, tied a record set in 2006 and helped her to finish 5th overall in a field filled with NCAA Division I and club athletes. And over this past weekend, Liz finished 3rd in the state at the California Community College's state track and field meet at Cerritos College. What's especially remarkable about Liz's performance is that she had no experience in throwing the hammer until she arrived at Saddleback College. Prior to starting here, Liz spent 4 years in the Marines, and when her husband was redeployed, she took up track and field to stay fit and have some fun. Liz has been accepted to the University of Georgia, where she will attend starting this fall. I'm also thrilled to recognize Remy Conister, who set the national record in hammer throwing with a toss of 215 feet 8 inches at the Ben Brown Invitational, breaking the old record by more than 3.5 feet. Remy ended up winning the event at Fullerton with the next best throw by a Long Beach State student whose throw was 40 feet behind Remy's. This weekend, Remy came first in the state in the hammer throw. Remy also had never thrown a hammer before attending Saddleback. He has been accepted by USC, where he will start in the fall. Congratulations to Remy and Liz, and kudos to coaches Mark Blethen and Sean McGinley for recognizing the apparent talent in both of them.
Did our coaches or did our champions want to have a word too? Well, after you take your picture, okay.
I just want to say thank you to the school and just the opportunities and the board, for everything. Saddleback has been a dream come true for me, and it's pushing me to the next level, and had an amazing season. So thank you, coaches. Thank you, Dr. Burnett. Thank you.
Okay, great.
How's it going, guys? I'd just like to say thank you to all my coaches, Sean especially. I've never quite had a coach like Sean who truly believed in me, and thanks to him, I now have the best opportunity in the world to go to my dream school. I never thought I'd be able to do it, so thank you.
You know, even though their physical achievements are impressive, I think more importantly, Liz is a 4.0 student here at Saddleback College. And will be our team scholar athlete, and Remy's GPA is over 3.5, and he's also going to be our scholar athlete for this year. And so they take care of business both on the field and in the classroom. And both of them were just recognized at a recent Scholar Baller Award ceremony. They're the inaugural Dr. Richard McCullough Character Award winners. So they're just great people, and it's been a pleasure working with them. So, thank you.
Now, if I could have Joseph Trejo and Professor Lee Haggerty come on up for the next recognition. It is my great pleasure to recognize Joseph Trejo, who was awarded Best Delegate of the World Health Organization Committee at the Model United Nations Conference in Santa Barbara City College. Joseph not only competed against other community college students, but also against students from four-year colleges throughout the nation. The topics Joseph was assigned to discuss were improving potable water, preparing for epidemic control in disaster zones, and promoting alternative methods for maternal and infant care. During his committee sessions, he presented speeches, participated in debates, and drafted a resolution and worked to get it passed. As you can imagine, during this conference, Joseph learned a lot about politicking and compromising for the greater good. Joseph, a veteran of the Marine Corps, is transferring this fall to Drexel University in Philadelphia, where he will major in international studies, justice and human rights, and wants to pursue a career in diplomacy by becoming a foreign service officer with the State Department or work with the United Nations. Professor Lee Haggerty is our advisor of Saddleback's Model UN and does an outstanding job working with our students. Congratulations, Joseph, on a job well done.
Okay, and Joseph, would you like to speak? And Professor Haggerty?
I'd just like to thank the board, or everybody, thank you, and as well as Professor Haggerty for giving us the opportunity, and also for starting Model UN. Obviously, we see IVC who won nationals, and we're trying to go to New York. I'm transferring, but I know the Model UN at Saddleback is growing, and we're going to get better, stronger, and hopefully we'll be able to compete with IVC and the rest of other schools as well. So just once again, thank you, Mr. Haggerty. Thank you all.
All right, and we have two other requests to speak. The first one is Patty Weeks. Would you come forward, please?
Wow, what a great night of acknowledgments and successful students. I would like to ask President Burnett and also Dean Jim Wright to join me. Okay. My name is Patty Weeks, and I run the tutoring center here at Saddleback College, the Learning Assistance Program. And annually, we assist about 5,000 Saddleback students and help them with 50,000 hours of tutoring each year. To do that, we have a huge staff of tutors. They're not all paid. They're not all receiving credit. Many of them are volunteering. And each semester, we have 2 or 3 volunteers that volunteer 100 hours or more in one semester. This has been an amazing semester because we have 4 repeat 100 and 200 club volunteers. We have 6 new 100 club volunteers. And for the first time in the history of Saddleback College, we have an individual that gave 300 hours of his time to help Saddleback students in one semester. They've already received their certificates. Their names will go on a perpetual plaque, but tonight in 2 minutes, they could have a handshake from people that they admire very much. The first recipient of the 100 Club is Sefer Afshari. Could you please stand? The second is Alex Goodman, 100 Club recipient. Mustafa Haji, could you please stand? Thank you. Nathan Jang, 100 hours. Michael Lamb, thank you for 100 hours. And may I ask, is shy Sandra Lee here? Well, thank you, Sandra. Finally, Christopher Jones has volunteered 300 hours. He's wearing his Medal of Achievement. And would you please stand? And would you like to have your hands? Shake hands, please.
I think it would be nice if they would join on the wall so we could get a photo.
Good idea.
All right.
Thank you. 2 minutes.
Very impressive. Thank you so much.
We are going to volunteer more hours next semester.
I like the way you said that. Very nice. Thank you so much, and thank you for all of your hard volunteer hours. Our next request for speaking tonight is Paula Jacobs. Paula, there you are.
Thank you. Good evening. Last Friday, I became the president of the Faculty Association, and so it's in that capacity that I'm speaking this evening. We felt that it was necessary to recognize the passing of one of our trustees, and therefore the Faculty Association will be extending condolences to the Fuentes family, and in recognition of Mr. Fuentes' service to our district, we will donate to the scholarships that are now being formed at the two colleges. Thank you.
Very nice. Thank you. Thank you. All right, we are now at item 3, reports, board reports. So we will start with Trustee Jay.
I think I've said enough for this evening.
Okay. All right, Trustee Meldau.
Well, this has been a very busy time for everyone. I'd just like to point out some of the things that I was lucky enough to attend. First of all, I want everyone to know that I attended my first ever fashion show here at Saddleback, and I was just amazed at all the talent that we have here once again at Saddleback. I was able to attend Professor Gwen Plano's retirement party along with Dr. Rockmore and Dr. Burnett and a lot of other people. I was at the Nurses' Penning, and the Nurses' Penning is always special to me because I have worked with nurses for years and years, and they're very special people, and I was honored to be there. We were at both commencements, and they just were outstanding events to observe and I know to participate in. I was also lucky enough to be invited to go to the IVC speech and debate team banquet, and those people know how to party. Unfortunately, I couldn't stay for dinner, but one thing that was amazing is that I had a line waiting to talk to me of both students and parents of students praising not only IVC, but especially the debate and speech team. It's a wonderful program, Dr. Rockmore, so thank you very much. And last of all, I'm looking forward to the KSBR birthday bash this weekend.
Okay, thank you. Trustee Milchiker.
Yes. Yes, it's a wonderful evening full of awards and recognition of wonderful people at our district, and I love these colleges. They're just wonderful. And I want to say I was delighted to attend our two incredible commencements. And as many of the end of the year events, end of the academic year events as I could get to, I'll just mention a few of them. I attended at Irvine Valley College the newly tenured faculty celebration, the Oscar Wilde play, The Importance of Being Earnest, the campus-wide fish barbecue, and Gwen Plano's retirement party. And then at Saddleback College, I attended the scholarship ceremony, the Human Services graduation, where I was asked to bring greetings from the board, and the Emeritus Faculty Dinner. I also attended the Orange County School Boards Association meeting, where Scott Lay, the president and CEO of the California Community College League, spoke about what's going on with California and higher education in California. And then the Orange County Community College Legislative Task Force. This was the last meeting of the year. And I was one of the founders of the Legislative Task Force, and it was really incredible to see how wonderfully the task force is doing. I attended with Gary Portner and Terry Flugerman, and this was at Rancho Santiago District. This coming year, our district is going to be chairing it. So Gary Portner is going to be running all the meetings. So we're looking forward to that. It was great to see how vibrant and wonderful the task force is doing. As I said, all 4 community college chancellors always come to all the meetings, as well as trustees and other staff members. And I'll just mention a few things they're doing right now. They're supporting legislation to help our veterans and our student veterans, which are really important and near and dear to all of our hearts. They've contracted an economics import study about how the community colleges affect the economics impact, how the community colleges impact the fiscal situation in our districts. And this information will be very helpful when we go to the business community and our local legislators, which is what the task force does. And lastly, I want to give my thoughts and prayers to the trustee Tom Fuentes family. As was said earlier, Tom Fuentes was a trustee for 12 years, and he gave much service to the community and our college, and his service is very much appreciated by all of us. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Prendergast.
Yes, I too attended the Orange County School Board Association dinner with Scott Lay, and was really nice to hear kind of his history of the intent and creation of the California college system in general, the UC to the Cal State to the community college level, and really kind of interesting to see where the focus started and how it's changed over the years, and it was very impressive. I also attended the nurses' pinning. It was my first one, which I feel bad about because I really tried to make it to the last few, and it's just never worked out. And the reason it's important to me is my mother's a nurse, and my stepmother was a nurse. So I think it's safe to say I love nurses and they love me. So I really enjoyed going to that ceremony. Commencement was nice again. Second one, I feel like I'm a pro at it now. And the IVC one is always especially dear to me, since a number of the students that come through that were my students when they had me as a teacher at Beckman. So it's always really nice to see them again and successful. So. And there was actually a couple at Saddleback, too, so that was nice. Surprise. I do want to say condolences to the Fuentes family. I feel like I'm probably the least qualified to say very much about him because I didn't get to know him very well because he got sick soon after I came on board. And it's too bad because it sounds like he would have been someone good to know. So thank you. Okay.
Thank you very much. And I, of course, had a very busy month, as we all did, and we'll just go through very quickly the events that I was able to get to. I was at both scholarship award ceremonies for IVC and Saddleback, and I just want to make a note that an anonymous person donated a scholarship at IVC in my name, which I really appreciate very much. And also that same person, I believe, donated one in Don Ruckner's name. And I attended the Veterans ceremony. There was one at Saddleback. I attended the Scholar Baller award ceremony at Saddleback. And also I attended, of course, both graduations. So I've had a very busy month, to say the least, but all of which are just great. It's May is the busy time when we get to rejoice and celebrate. And I love every minute of it. My condolences to the Fuentes family. I knew Tom Fuentes for many years prior to him being on the board and also on the board. And he was a dedicated person both to the college and to the community, and he will be greatly missed. Trustee Lane.
I also attended the nurses' pinning ceremony and both of the college commencements. last week. These graduation events are all outstanding, and I want to extend my congratulations to both the college presidents and their entire staff, as well as the faculty, classified staff, and police officers who do such a terrific job for all our students on commencement day and throughout the academic year. As you've heard from my fellow trustees, we're all terribly saddened by the, and extend our condolences on the loss of our colleague and fellow trustee Tom Fuentes, who passed away following our graduation ceremonies. I think that was fitting symbolism for such an iconic individual who graduated to his next status beyond his worldly presence. The papers and the internet are certainly replete with his accomplishments and achievements. I'd only like to add briefly to this biographical record what a considerate and thoughtful trustee he has been these last dozen years that I've had the privilege of serving with him on this board, and how much I appreciated his unique insights and perspectives on the issues and agenda items that we've dealt with and often struggled with, and how much I will miss his wisdom, passion, and polish. Thank you.
Thank you. Our new student trustee, Heather Park, do you have a report?
None to report.
Okay, thank you. We're now at our Chancellor's report.
Several of the
Push your button. There you
pushed
go.
it. There it is.
Okay.
Several of the trustees have already mentioned commencement, which was a joyful event at both colleges. With commencement comes a change in governance groups here at the board meetings, and I'd like to point out we have some new old faces at the table here. We have a new representative for the Saddleback College Academic Senate, Professor Bob Cosgrove, an Academic Senate president at IVC, Kathy Schmeidler. Paula's already introduced herself. She's just become president of the Faculty Association. And there's someone down here impersonating Dennis Gordon that I don't know, maybe you want to introduce yourself.
Just for today, sir.
Oh, just for today.
And your name?
My name is Vincent Cooper. I'm president-elect of the IVC Classified Senate.
Great.
Okay. And lastly, I too would like to pass on my condolences to the Fuentes family. I enjoyed knowing Tom a great deal. He was a very unique individual to know, one with great integrity to his own views and beliefs.
Thank you. Now we are at board requests for reports. Do we have any trustees asking, or have you submitted any forms? Do we have any that we need to address tonight? Chancellor? No? Okay. We are at the discussion item. Oh, I'm sorry. No, do we need to advance that one item before this? We'll go forward. All right. We'll start with the discussion item. We do have one item that we will be, we'll be pulling item 6.8 for any of you who may be here for that particular item. But we will now go to the discussion item, Basic Aid Allocation Recommendations for 2012 to 2013. And Vice Chancellor Fitzsimons will present.
Okay, can you hear me? All right, good. Can somebody tell me how to? It's not available. All right. While he's doing that, I just wanted to let you know that this presentation will briefly outline the recommendations for basic aid for various capital, scheduled maintenance, and technology projects. It's been a groundbreaking year for the district in the sense that it's the first time in district history where the basic aid funding recommended are directly based on district-wide planning efforts with active participation from district-wide committees, the shared governance representatives, and with transparency and interactive communication between the colleges and district-wide committees. To give a little bit of history here, the accreditation recommendation number 2 from the accreditation team recommended that the district and the colleges develop and implement a resource allocation model driven by planning that includes all district funds and is open, transparent, inclusive, and it is widely disseminated and reviewed, evaluated periodically for effectiveness. Basically what happened after the teams came and made that recommendation, accreditation committees were formed. One was formed for recommendation 2, and they did a variety of efforts to address this recommendation. But one of the first things that they did was help develop, which the board approved in August, Board Policy 3110, which was the basic aid funding process. Then after that board-approved policy was completed, the administrative regulation was then developed by Board Policy and Administrative Regulation Committee and the work group that was formed under that committee to develop that. That was approved in February of this year. During this whole fiscal year, only a minimal amount of basic aid projects were authorized, and that was done on purpose to support the accreditation recommendations. The basic aid funding for this year was to be held until the board policy and the AR were fully implemented by the district. Because of this, the recommendations will now incorporate 2 years' worth of basic aid funding. And as you can recall from the basic aid report, you've seen that that amount has been basically staying to just a little under $4 million. The Basic Aid Allocation Recommendation Committee, which we call BARC, was formed. And this Participatory Governments Committee was charged with implementing Board Policy 3110 and AR 3110. And the basic aid process that went along with those. And it utilized plans developed by other district-wide committees and councils. And this is really key to what the accreditation teams were saying to us during those reports, that planning is to drive our budget process. The basic aid allocations recommendations were to follow the annual basic aid allocation cycle, which parallels the annual budget development process. That's why we're here today, because we wanted you to see what the recommendations are, discuss them, and provide input back to us before they get implemented into the tentative budget, which comes to you next month. The committee itself was a 17-member participatory governance committee, and representation was from both colleges and district services staff. It includes academic senate, CSEA, classified senate, administrators, and managers. The plans and priorities received by this group called BARC were supported by the college participatory process and their governance processes, and they were collaborative, collegial, inclusive, and transparent, which the accreditation recommendation called for. We had extensive interaction throughout the process with the colleges, and this task was really difficult to do with such a large committee, and the task was taken very seriously by the BARC committee, and discussions that took place were very healthy and lively, and this was the first time ever that it was done in the district in that kind of way. BARC, again, as I said, planning was driving the BARC basic aid funding recommendations. We received our recommendations from 2 primary planning committees, the Capital Improvement Committee and the District Technology Committee. BARC met this spring semester, reviewed the district-wide and college plans and the funding priorities that were provided from those groups to the BARC. The finalized recommendations went to the Chancellor from the group from their most recent committee meeting, which was in May, and the Chancellor and college presidents support the BARC recommendations. As you can go through, this is all inside item 4.1, but you'll see on one of the first few pages, there's an estimate that calls for an administrative reg. What it does is you have to first estimate the total property taxes for basic aid. Now remember, this is a 2-year calculation. So the total estimated property taxes that includes this year and next year amount to $92 million, which is quite hefty. If you take out a 20% contingency, which the administrative regulation calls for, which is over $18 million, the amount available for allocation was $74 million. The first thing that BARC did was take off the top, so to speak, the long-term obligations and the fixed expenses. And out of this $74 million, that called for $3.5 million. And now those off-the-top obligations include the OPEB trust amount, which is over $2.6 million, legislative advocacy, and board elections. The net amount then available is $70,787,592. If you can refer to the following pages in the board item 4.1, you could take a look at these individual items. So the majority of the projects being recommended are for capital projects or capital-related projects. And you can see the capital project list is on page 7 of the board item. Various scenarios were looked at, and we had to stay within the amount allocated. And with capital projects, you could spend a lot of money very quickly. And so we followed the order of the 5-year construction plan that we submit to the state. All these plans, and as well as the Educational Facilities Master Plan, are plans that are driven by the colleges. And as you know, we just went through a process of approving the district-wide EFMP, and the 5-year construction plan already came to the board for your approval in February. So we followed those plans, and as you can see on page 7, the projects are in that priority order, and explains the project estimates, what has already been provided in basic aid, then what was assigned previously, and in the sort of column, the second column from the right, you can see the basic aid funding plan that's being recommended through BARC. And the total was $48.8 million. The next section is page 8, which is a category that's within the AR called Construction Design Defects and Code Requirements. There are some buildings that after the warranty period is over, issues arise, and this building is a perfect example of that, and it's first on the list, where we had some, what would you call it, John? Water intrusion problems, okay? And so we need to take care of this. It's after the warranty period, and if we don't take care of these types of things, further issues will be created, and of course they'll cost more money. So this is a list in priority order of those kind of projects, page 8. Page 11 through 14, so skipping a couple pages, we have other projects that support the capital program. These are mostly consultants or other specialty types of specialists, basically, who support the capital program. So you can see there's anything from closing out DSAA, design builds, especially consultants, legal counsel for certain types of projects, including environmental, the ATIP site development, lease-back consultant, and 20-year facilities renovation and scheduled maintenance facility system project. That project on the bottom is a little bit unique because we also have some information on it from pages 12 through 14, because basically that's a software that's being recommended, actually several softwares that are being recommended to actually help us get the data that is common and uniform between two campuses for actually being able to enable us to have a 20-year facilities renovation and scheduled maintenance report, which I think is really important for this district to have, using common definitions and having all of our information in one place. And that's what that project is. The next thing is the scheduled maintenance projects, which are on page 9. And if you take a look at that, it's a longer sort of sheet. As you recall, the scheduled maintenance projects require a 50% match by the colleges. We already have some projects with scheduled maintenance already in the budget. You just recently approved some projects in December, so this is adding to that list. Again, these were prioritized by the campuses through their participatory governance process, and we've tried to follow those college priorities. And as you can see, the basic aid request is for $2 million. The next thing is on page 10, and it's the small renovation projects. There's 2 that fall in this category. These are projects that don't meet up to the criteria of being a major renovation project, but they're still important to the campuses. And so we recommended 1 project each for each of the campuses. And then page 15 is a different type of item. It's the district-wide technology projects. This is the first year that we have a district-wide technology plan. There's a district technology committee that helped develop that plan. They made a 1-year priority list for basic aid funding, which basically is 2 years' worth of funding for this type of item. And the areas are prioritized from 1 through 16. We allowed a small contingency for those projects, and the total was $10.1 million. And then lastly is the ATEP operations. As the ATEP operations basically continue until we have the site developed and we have new buildings there, in a past board item in October, I believe, of 2010, we have approved certain positions to be funded through basic aid, and this will be continuing that when just adding increases related to operating costs associated with step and column benefits and those kind of increases. So we have before you the recommendation from BARC. We have several people here who can help answer some questions on any specific project you have. Brandy Delana is here, John Azarovich, Carol Hilton, and I'm not seeing John Edwards, but we'll be able to answer pretty much any question, as well as Bob Bermucci, of course, on the district technology. So this item, 4.1, is basically being presented for information and discussion for the board prior to incorporating it into the tentative budget, and we're welcome for questions right now.
Trustee Pendergast.
Yeah, thank you for the report. I'm still kind of learning some of this as we go along. You just recently mentioned the fact that ATEP administration or management, there's salaries and so forth, benefits out of that. But it's my understanding we have a policy that we don't use basic aid funding for salaries and long-term financing. Isn't that counter to that policy? Is that this is a temporary situation that those positions will eventually get rolled into the general?
Yes. My
salary?
understanding, when this resolution was approved by the board in October 25th, 2010, which is attached to the document in this particular item, the intent was it's personnel related to the site development. So basically, the positions that were designated in here are groundskeeper, maintenance worker, and campus coordinator. The groundskeeper and maintenance worker do support the whole entire 68 acres, not just the small site that's IVC's instructional operation. And so I think thinking there by the board at that time, I wasn't here, but I think the thinking was, why should IVC have to support that when it's a district-wide entity for the 68 acres until the site development takes place? We added security because we had, as part of the negotiation with the Tustin, because of the demolition that was taking place, and it was could be construed as basically a nuisance. It was very attractive to folks, particularly teenagers, whatnot, with going into the site, hopping the fence, and getting into trouble, basically. And so they required us in an MOU to have 24-hour security of the site.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments or questions? Trustee Lang.
Yes, also just to clarify a little bit on Trustee Prendergast's comment, we've actually always funded operations for ATEP out of basic aid, but we had been criticized for using the basic aid funds for doing so. This makes it a much more transparent process, I think. We do still have to support ATEP operations until such time as they are self-sustaining, which hopefully will occur, sometime in the future. I wanted to congratulate you on I think a terrific report and the development of this process, which I think is working exactly as we had planned, which is to make this as transparent a process of allocating these dollars as possible. And I commend the committee, the BARC committee, for what appears to be a very fair allocation of funds across the board to a lot of different and necessary priorities. Obviously, all of the capital improvements that are indicated within here, but I also think that proper emphasis has been given to some of the technology initiatives that we have going, which are extremely unique and I think important to the future of the college. I guess my only minor criticism is that there is some jargon in here that I think I certainly wasn't familiar with, like dude and fusion, and so probably I need to study this a little bit more to understand those concepts a little bit better. But all in all, I thought it was a very good report. Thank you.
Thank you. I do want to point out that for all these projects, we will be bringing them back like we always do for basic aid, funding, contracts, everything will be coming to the board. And the school dude infusion one will be definitely one of those. You'll see if you are okay with for proceeding further and putting this in the tentative budget, we anticipate bringing those contracts for implementation for July 1st, but in June, at least some of them.
Okay, thank you. Seeing no other trustee wishing to ask questions, we'll accept your report. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I just wanted to make sure that you saw the names of all the people who are in the planning as well as BORC.
Yes,
it took a lot of effort and a lot of interaction with the colleges, and I just want to say thank you to everybody for doing that. Thank you.
All right, we are now at our consent calendar items. Trustee Pendergast.
I'd like to pull 5.5 and 5.6.
Okay, 5.5 and 5.6. Any other items? Trustee Jay moved it. Do you have a second? Second. All right. I assume you're moving it with those items pulled, correct? So let's vote on the consent calendar excluding 5.5 and 5.6. Okay. Student trustee needs to vote. There you go. All right. So we have a unanimous vote with absent seat and student advisory yes vote. Thank you very much. And item 5.5, Trustee Pendergast, you wanted that pulled?
Nothing major. I just wanted to get clarification on, is this, as alternate signatories, is this, any checks from this fund require 2 signatures and you're just setting up so that there's a potential for making sure someone's around to sign it? Or is it possible that one person can sign this check?
One person can sign for petty cash, cash fund, which is what this is. But basically, alternates when that person is not around are the Chancellor and the Vice Chancellor of Business Services. This fund is monitored and reviewed by the audit firm as we do our annual audit, which they're doing right now.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else, Trustee Pendergast?
That was it.
All right. Moved by Trustee Lang.
I'll second.
Seconded by Trustee Pendergast. Let's vote, please. All right. Matter carries unanimously with one absent seat and one student advisory yes vote. 5.6, Trustee Pendergast.
This one just is a AT&T of Texas. Is there something wrong with AT&T of California?
Good question.
Our District Director of Infrastructure and Network, Jeff Doris, is here. I'll ask him to comment to that.
This item is our yearly Cisco
I can't
maintenance.
barely hear you. Can you speak a little closer to the mic?
This item's our yearly maintenance for Cisco hardware. We've changed vendors for that renewal to AT&T. In the process of gathering the information, we asked where they're incorporated, and they said Texas.
That's where they're incorporated.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Yes, just a second. Trustee Lang has a question. Don't leave, please, Mr. Doris.
No, it's not a question. It's more of a comment. And it's just
okay.
that, again, for Trustee Pendergast's benefit, the reason for this is it's a CMAS contract, which means we can piggyback on this in order to get the best possible rates. And that's why we're not necessarily using a California company. This could be actually anywhere in the United States, but it gives us the best possible rates because we're able to tag onto this thing.
Sure. And just, we're trying to generate revenue in California to help public schools in California, and outsourcing may not be seen as the best idea unless it has its function, and it sounds like it has its function.
Thank you. Thanks for clarifying that. Seeing no other trustees wishing to speak, vote, please. Vote on the item. Matter carries unanimously with one vacant seat and one student advisory yes vote. We are now at our general action item, 6.1, Consolidated Elections for Members of Governing Boards. And who is going to present this item, Chancellor?
There's a requirement in the code that if we want to join our election with the other districts that are having elections for school board members, that we have to pass a resolution to do so.
Okay.
And so this just, all it does is reduce the cost. We don't have to have a separate election just for our district.
And, okay, moved by Trustee Jay and seconded by Trustee Lang. And because it's a resolution, does it require a roll call vote?
It does.
Okay. Would you call the roll, please?
Trustee Jay.
Trustee Jay, verbally. Vote, verbally. We've done that. You need to vote. It's a roll call vote. Your name? Yes, thank you.
Okay, I was looking on the...
Trustee Lang.
Aye.
Trustee Mildau.
Aye.
Trustee Milchiker.
Aye.
Trustee Patberg.
Yes.
Trustee Prendergast.
Aye.
Student Trustee Park.
Aye.
Okay, very good, thank you. We are now at item 6.2, and this item is board policy revisions, tuition refunds, residence termination, employee use of district motor vehicles.
This is the second reading of these three board policies.
Okay, any comments or questions by board members? All right, Trustee Lang moved and Trustee Milchiker seconded. Let's vote on the item. Trustee Jay, would you vote, please? All right, matter carries unanimously with one absent seat, and student advisory yes vote. Very good. We are at 6.3, and these again are board policy revisions, and this is to accept for review and study. Trustee Lang moved it, seconded by Trustee Jay. Let's vote on the item, please. Yeah, well, we may as well just accept for review and study. Trustee Jay and Trustee Meldau, vote. This is a vote by the machine. Thank you. Carries unanimously with one absent seat and one student advisory yes vote. And 6.4 is request to rescind spring 2013 sabbatical request from Richard White.
Move approval.
All right. Do we want to address this? Anyone have any questions? Trustee Lang moved the item. Do we have a second? Trustee Milchiker seconded it. All right. Seeing no comments or questions, let's vote on the item. Carries unanimously with one absent seat and student advisory yes vote. And 6.5, administrator and manager new position description titles, range, placement, and integrated salary schedule. We've studied this many, many, many months, and we are at the point of approving it. Trustee Jay moved it. Seconded by Trustee Pendergast. Comments or questions? Seeing none, let's vote on the item. Trustee Jay? Matter carries unanimously with one absent vote and a student advisory yes vote. And with that, we are at 6.6, academic personnel actions. No changes. Okay. So any comments? Moved by Trustee Lang, seconded by student trustee. Okay, very good. So any comments or questions? Trustee Milchiker.
Just thought I'd comment that there are a great number of new faculty members on the agenda, so I'm looking forward to having them start. New eras coming.
Exciting. That's right. Thank you. Any other comments or questions? Seeing none, let's vote on the item. Matter carries unanimously with one absent seat and student advisory yes vote. 6.7, classified personnel actions. No changes. All right. Yes. It's been moved by Trustee Lang and seconded by Trustee Jay. Trustee Milchiker, do you want to speak, or your name is still appearing? Okay, so let's vote on the item. Matter carries unanimously with one absent seat and student advisory yes vote. 6.8 has been pulled, so we are now at our reports from our various items. So we'll start with 7.1. Board requested report feasibility of purchasing a manufactured pool from Olympic Trials in Oklahoma for IVC. And I believe that was requested by Trustee Prendergast. Correct?
Correct.
Do we have... I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yes.
Vice Chancellor Fitzsimons.
In response to Trustee Pendergast's request, we had done research on this item, and in front of you is the background and status as far as the board report. As you can see, there's several exhibits with information regarding the status of the pools being utilized from the Olympic trials in Oklahoma this summer. and also considerations for implementing the pool project at IVC. And although future opportunities exist, the 2 pools from the Olympic trials for this summer have already been sold. But it was very helpful having this research done, and I know the IVC president and facilities director appreciated the request, so that we have this information for future consideration.
Trustee Prendergast.
Yeah, so my hope then is that this is definitely a good laying the groundwork for 2016, which is doing the next Olympic trials, and is in line with the facilities master plan of when the pool for IVC, it would be like 1 year ahead of when it was originally designed on the facilities plan. So it could save a significant amount of money for something that's already in the works. That'd be great.
Thank you.
All right. Seeing no other comments, we'll move to 7.2, Saddleback College and Irvine Valley College Annual Accreditation Reports. Our 2 presidents are going to comment about these.
This is just our annual report that we give to the Accrediting Commission each year online. And this is a copy of that report.
Okay. And I think we're all pretty familiar with it? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, same answer. It's,
same
if
answer,
you look
okay.
at it, really just talking about our enrollments and head count, things like that.
Good.
So, yeah.
All right, thank you. Seeing no comments or questions, we'll move to item 7.3, and that's the district, Saddleback College, Irvine Valley College, and AT&amp mission statements, annual review. Who would like to present this? Chancellor?
Well, the president's going to talk about it.
Oh, okay, speak to your mic.
Once again, this is by policy. We adopt these each year, and there has been no change at Saddleback College to our vision or mission statement.
No change here as well.
Okay. And Randy Peoples from ATIP?
No change at this time, although the committees are still reviewing the ATEP mission vision statements and also the district-wide mission vision statement. So there could be some changes mid-year, or we might decide to wait until 12 months from now, but there's still some discussion.
All right, thank you very much. Comments or questions? Seeing none, we'll go to 7.4, Saddleback College speakers, a list of speakers for events and classes. Trustee Prendergast.
Yeah, just curious if President Burnett, the career placement presentation on April 30th, one of the presenters is a parent of one of my former swimmers, and just curious how that went. If it was well received, and if I can offer him congratulations or condolences.
If it's a friend of yours, it went great. Actually, the career placement week did really go very, very well. It was a big success, actually, and Eric Hilden gets a lot of credit for that, Rocky Sifoni and his whole team.
Great.
Okay, seeing no comments or questions beyond that, let's go to 7.5, Basic Aid Report.
Yes, there's no changes since last month, but I did want to point out for Trustee Lang's sake, he asked a question last month, and we didn't have all the details behind a number. If you look at page 2 of Exhibit A, there was a balance remaining for 2010 of a negative $9,951,045, and it really was an accumulation of pluses and minuses, and so I provided the detail in my written report to give that background on that information.
All right, seeing no comments, we'll go to 7.6, Facilities Plan Status Report. And who is going to present that, or any comments or questions?
That's presented.
All right, that's presented. And 7.7, the Monthly Financial Status Report. Vice Chancellor Fitzsimons.
Unless there's questions.
Seeing none. 7.8, Retiree Trust Fund. Miss, you're dominating the agenda, Chancellor Fitzsimons.
Sorry. Unless there's questions, no changes.
Okay, I don't see any. 7.9, list of requested board reports. Any comments? 7.10, quarterly investment report. Vice Chancellor Fitzsimons.
Again, unless there's questions.
Okay, very good. At this point, we're at 8.0, and that's the written reports and reports from the various constituent groups. We'll start with Saddleback College Academic Senate.
Thank you, President. Is that on?
Don.
When 31 full-time faculty leave in 1 year, a noticeable gap is left in experience, knowledge and wisdom, and passion for teaching. We miss our colleagues. But we are looking forward to 31 faculty replacements in our class of fall 2012. In order to assist these incoming professionals, the College Academic Senate is crafting this summer a year-long seminar to aid these colleagues to more quickly adjust to new campus, new faces, different courses, and our new responsibilities. This proposed project will be led by Alana Rosenberg, a Senate officer. We will we begin with our in-service for our training session and tour of the campus, and after that we plan to meet with the new faculty every 3 weeks. This project has received strong endorsement and warm endorsement from our college president and VP of instruction. Is that not correct?
Very strongly, Bob. Thank you.
Thank you.
Is that it? Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Our next report will be from the Faculty Association President, Paula Jacobs.
No report this evening.
Okay. And our next would be from Irvine Valley College Academic Senate President Kathy Smiley.
Surprisingly, no report this evening.
My goodness. Associate Vice Chancellor Economic Development.
No report this evening, thanks.
Oh, my goodness. President of Irvine Valley College.
Well, thank you very much. I do have a little bit of a report. I would like to thank the Chancellor and the Board for your participation in college events and to let you know that it is really noticed and very much appreciated. I know it takes a lot of time to dedicate yourself to that. I'd like to welcome Heather and, of course, our new leadership here, Bob and Paula, and particularly Kathy Schmeidler, who I look forward to working with as Academic Senate President. And it's going to be a real pleasure to do that. Out of my report, just a couple of highlights I would like to point you to. One of our IVC faculty members, Professor Juan Chen, received an award. And this was a Chinese Language Education and Research Center award that was for her Chinese teaching, but in particular for the use of technology in that work. So that is particularly notable. Another one is that at our scholarship ceremony, we actually handed out $260,000, and we had 650 students apply this year, which is up about 48%. So it tells you a little bit about where we are in the economy and the status of our students. One of our students, a veteran actually, Chris Husmond, received an award from the American Chemical Society. This is a national society for chemists, and it's an outstanding chemistry student award that he received. And actually, I had an opportunity to go to that ceremony. It was very special. So with that, one last thing. Please notice the IVC faculty that were recognized by UCI students. They were their former students at Irvine Valley College, then gone on to UCI. And those would be Brenda Boron, Kay Riles, Barry Rudman, and Ilkner Erebus White were all recognized in a ceremony there at UCI. So, thank you.
Very nice. President Burnett, Saddleback College.
Thank you. First, Saddleback College sends its deepest condolences to the family and friends of Trustee Tom Fuentes. He will be greatly missed. And thank you very much for all the wonderful things that everybody has said. It's very touching. I'd like to welcome Trustee Heather Park. Congratulations. Look forward to working with you over the next year. And, of course, congratulations and welcome to Bob, Paula, and Kathy. Thank you very much for attending the commencement. It seems like every year everybody says that was the best one ever. Well, it happened again. Everybody thinks it's the best one ever. So I like that, that every year it's the best year ever. And that says a lot about our college and about all of you and everybody else, and in particular our faculty and our students. Another big event, of course, that happened since last board meeting, and some of you had mentioned and you participated, thank you, was the scholarship ceremony. Saddleback had a banner year, as you probably know about. We gave out about $400,000, which is an increase of well over $120,000 from the prior year. to more than 200 students, I might add, and also the largest applications as well. Our new financial aid director is doing just a bang-up job, and I think that's been like 700 students apply for the scholarship. So we're very thankful for that. And once again, thank you for all your help and participation. Thank you again for the board for all the events you attended this last month or so at the end-of-year events. I know it's a lot. It's very taxing, but we appreciate you coming out, and all of you have done a great job and attended a lot of the special events. I just want to thank you. We did leave some programs and things for you, so for those of you that didn't attend some of those events, but as you know, there are about dozens more even from those. Just one of the things we gave you out, just so everybody know, it's now summer, or going to be summer, and the summer program for our Saddleback Civic Light Opera is there. So some really good shows are coming out, and I highly encourage you and your friends and everybody to attend. Finally, one thing I handed out, and you might get lost in a little pack, but there's a newsletter from Mission Viejo High School principal. It's his quarterly newsletter, I believe. And he has an article on there, actually a whole page article on our Saddleback College pilot outreach program. This is a small example of where our college needs to go and frankly where we will be going in fostering stronger partnerships with our local high schools to improve college readiness and ultimately, of course, greater student success. That's my report. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Vice Chancellor of Technology, Bob Rimricci.
No report this evening.
Okay. Vice Chancellor of Human Resources, David Bouguet.
Congratulations to Bob and Kathy for the roles in Academic Senate, and Paula, Trustee Heather Park, congratulations. You'll enjoy this. Human Resources is happily creating massive amounts of work for Saddleback College and Irvine Valley College, and especially the presidents, by sending them almost, I guess it literally is dozens of people for second interviews in the process. So we will be helping change the future of both colleges through our processes in Human Resources. We also attended a very interesting job fair. We go to several each year, but we went to one recently at Camp Pendleton. So we actually we're recruiting for different classified positions there as well for part of our pools. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. Vice Chancellor of Business Services?
No report this evening.
Okay, very good. Irvine Valley College, Classified Senate?
Good evening, Madam President. My name is Vincent Cooper, and I'm filling in for Dennis Gordon for today. It's great to be here. Just a few things. The Classified Senate provided 7 scholarships for students this past scholarship ceremony. Very proud of the hard work that classified employees did to raise funds for these students. We're also in the process of holding nominations and elections for our own committees to serve on with the district and with our college. We're also hosting a year-end celebration, a little barbecue in June. And also 5 classified Senate officers will be attending CLI, which is the Classified Leadership Institute in Ventura this summer. Thank you.
Great. And our CSEA President, Jan Mastrangelo. I'm sorry.
Mastrangelo.
Thank you. I'll get it out. That was said with a great Italian accent.
Okay, so CSEA expresses its condolences to your friend and the Fuentes family. As an organization, CSEA gathered over 41,000 signatures for the Protect Schools and Public Safety Act of 2012, which was it was nearly double the goal that we had established for 25,000 signatures. We're finalizing our contract with the district, and we'll soon be reaching out to the staff to provide some informational meetings on contractual modifications that will be followed by, hopefully, membership ratification. Last month, we had an election for our yearly conference in Vegas where the CSEA Association has people from all over the state attend that, and we vote on a number of proposed resolutions by different chapters all over the state. Resolution writing is one of the professional development seminars covered in the conference. This year, one of the resolutions proposed by another chapter will be to honor classified veterans by creating a Veterans Awareness Week during Veterans Day week. And by part of that will be that if it goes through, we'll be including articles in our Focus magazine and recognition in the CSEA calendar. CSEA has also sponsored Assembly Bill 1908, which will, if passed, will extend the current 45 days layoff notice to classified employees to 60 days. It successfully passed the Assembly, Public Employees Retirement and Social Security Committee, and now heads to the Assembly Appropriations Committee. Thank you.
Thank you. And our Saddleback College Classified Senate, Dan Minio.
No, Don Minio.
Don, sorry.
Oh, that's no problem. But we're preparing for the summer. Of course, we're just finishing up the spring. And special thanks to our student government at Saddleback College. They gave us a special award for all our work with the veterans. We're looking forward to the new leadership in the Academic Senate and the Union. And we're looking for a more productive year this year with this year's outstanding leaders. Congratulations to the administration, managers, and the police for their new contracts, or new relating to contracts pay. Congratulations and welcome to Heather Park, our new student trustee, and blessing and prayers to the Fuentes family.
Thank you. And we have no one from our two college associated student governments or the POA. So normally this would be our time for adjournment, but we have one more item, so we'll move to that. And that has, sorry? Oh, we have to adjourn and then re-adjourn. Okay, reconvene. So at this point, we will adjourn or close this part of the meeting. We are going to close our official meeting in memory of Trustee Tom Fuentes. So we can do that now as well as when we